All right, guys, this is probably the most common question I get. I'm sure it's most of you guys' struggle is, not getting views or visits, not getting sales, and what to do about it. And there's probably 4 reasons that causes this that I'm going to kind of dive into each today to give you a little bit more insight and give you something to work on for the next 30 days so you can change the trajectory. The good news is it is possible to change this around, and almost every single seller out there has dealt with this at some point or another. So it's possible for you to change the trajectory. I know it's frustrating at first, but this is part of the process that we have to embrace. So the first thing that I want to talk about is views and visits, because I think this is a clear distinction when we're talking about each. So we have to know what each is. So a visit is, and a good way to kind of think about this is, a visit is a unique person coming into your shop, and that is, so if they walk and look at anything in your shop, that is one visit. But then what they look at, your listings, so if they look at one listing, that's one visit, one view, right? So the listings that they look at is views. If they look at another listing, that's another view. If they look at another listing, that's another view. So one visit, 3 views. So if you have another customer come into your shop, I don't know why this isn't letting me draw faster, but if you have another customer coming into your shop and they look at one item, that's another visit, another view. So basically 2 visits, 2 customers, and now you're up to 4 views. So that's how I have to look at it. So I like to look at it for visits, because you want as many people coming into your shop as possible. That's where it really matters. One person looking at 40 products is not as good as 10 people looking at 40 products, because if you have 10 different people, they're probably going to buy more. So that's an important distinction. So really, I like to look at it in terms of visits. All right, so let's break this out. Why are you not getting any visits in your shop if you're looking at it? Well, the first reason, and one of the common reasons, is you don't have enough product. You don't have enough product listings, right? So I'll go look at shops, and you'll have like just a couple of listings, 5, 6, 7 listings. So that is just not enough listings to really determine much of anything. Because each listing, you're giving the algorithm information. You're giving it keywords in your title, keywords in your description, keywords in your tags. You're trying to identify a target audience. So every listing is helping the algorithm understand you better, who you're trying to target, and you're putting more lines in the water. So you're just increasing your chances of success. If you go out on the street and you ask one person out on a date, your chances of success is pretty low. If you ask 50 girls out on a date, or 50 guys, you're hopefully going to get at least one of those, unless you're having a really bad day. So same thing with listings, right? It does multiple things. Not only does it give you more chances, it gives you time to put in the reps so you can improve what you're doing and getting better at what you're doing, but also you're laying the groundwork to get those breadcrumbs so you can make better decisions later on and use that information to your advantage. So the number of listings does matter. The consistency that you're putting up listings does matter, because I'll see people, they'll go all gung-ho, put up 10 listings, and they won't do anything in their shop for the next couple of months. And you better believe any algorithm, any AI out there rewards consistency. If you're trying to grow website traffic, you need to be posting blog content. You need to be updating your pages consistently. If you're trying to grow your Instagram page, you better be putting up listings pretty much daily to be able to grow that. Pinterest, you better be putting up pins pretty much daily to be able to grow that. If you want to gain muscle at the gym, you should be going to the gym at least 3-4 times a week. It's with life in anything that you do, business or externally, the consistency matters. So usually with Etsy, I try to tell people like 2 to 5 listings a week is a good cadence to get into, so you can start to build up your catalog, build up your products, your listings, so you can get to learn a little bit more about your audience. The next thing, number 2, the biggest reason, is not having a niche. So this kind of caters to this. If you don't, your niche is your roadmap. So your niche gives you a roadmap to follow. It gives you a plan to follow, right? So if you have, your consistent listing strategy, this is a terribly designed road, but if your listings and your consistent listings, that's part of the piece of the pie, but your niche matters because you then know your target audience. And there's a lot of shops that don't have a specific niche. They can work and they can work fine. But it is much harder when you're starting out to not have a niche because you're just throwing things everywhere. You have nothing's related. It makes no sense. And the algorithm's like, what the heck? Who are they trying to target? I don't know. The other problem is, if you don't have a niche, you have like one or two listings related to one item. Like maybe you have one or two listings trying to sell like a funny mom mug. And then there's another shop over here that has 30 listings tailored to humorous mom stuff. The algorithm is going to send the buyers to that shop rather than your shop because the whole goal in Etsy's life is to match the best buyer with the seller they think they're going to buy from or have the highest percentage of likelihood to buy from. And that shop usually has more items catering to that target audience because they are, if they don't buy from that on that item, they have other items to choose from. And they're probably just doing a better job catering to that target audience. And there's a lot more data targeting that target audience. So just just from doing a simple math calculation, the algorithm's like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to send that buyer to the shop that has that built out. So that's another reason why having a niche does matter, and it helps you understand your audience better. Because if you have this path to follow, the products that you're releasing are going to serve this niche. Right? So you can get better at figuring out what your niche wants, your target audience wants, because eventually they're going to start to buy some of these products. Hopefully, at a minimum, they're going to start to get traffic and then they're going to start to buy. So then what you can do is, okay, they bought this. I'm going to do more products similar to what is working within this niche, similar to what these people are buying. And then out of those new products, you're probably going to sell, some of these other ones. And, 80-20, some of these other products aren't going to sell, but you're going to, the Pareto principle, 80% of your stuff isn't going to work well, 20% is going to bring in most of your revenue. So you want to position your shop in a way where you can start to focus and double down on that 20% that's working. And that is where the growth really happens. That's where you can start to do your growth levers. So those are the first two. The third, these last two are really important too. The first two are kind of like broader strategies that everyone should consider. These are kind of more granular strategies. So the third strategy is it's the third reason, it is a strategy, is going to be your pictures. Let me see if I can do like a little portrait guy. All right. So the third strategy is your pictures. People, most of the time when you're not getting traffic, it's a picture problem because they're seeing your item in search, but they're not clicking into it. So why are they not clicking into it? Something doesn't make sense. The item is harder to see. Maybe it has a busy background. Maybe it's cropped out. Maybe it's blurry. The other thing to consider when looking at your item, the main picture, look at the first part of your title that shows in Etsy. The first part of your title, because your whole title you can't see. So in search, the first part of your title, the first like 5 or 6 words is what shows up. So you want to make sure that that first part of your title matches the picture and the search intent exactly. Like you don't want to have keywords showing in your title that's not relevant to the picture. You know what I mean? So if you have a personalized baby blanket, you don't want to start with cotton, colorful, woven, and then go into baby blanket because that baby blanket part's going to be cut off, right? We want to start with baby blanket or baby personalized blanket first. And so it matches exactly what your picture is. You don't want to create any confusion with the picture and the title. So that's another thing to consider outside of the picture quality itself. A lot of people, their picture needs to be zoomed in a little bit more on the design. You can't see it from far away. Lifestyle pictures are good, but they can hurt you if your item you can't tell what it is, especially like a t-shirt. If you're zoomed way out and the design you can't see, Doesn't matter how cool the lifestyle image is. If someone can't see that design, it's not going to appeal to them. They're not even going to see it. They're going to keep moving on, or keep driving by. It's like if you have a billboard and you have this huge 20-foot billboard and you only use 2 feet of it for your design, someone's driving by, they're not going to be able to see it. Same thing with your image and with your main thumbnail image of your listing. You have this number of space to use. If you're only using a very small 10% of it to feature your design, people aren't going to see it. They're going to keep, quote unquote, driving by. They're going to keep scrolling by, and you don't want to do that. So just make sure it pops out right away. It's easy to see. The other thing is make sure, I'm going to draw a play button here. Make sure, it's a terrible play button, looks like a D. Make sure you have a video, especially now. Not to mention it's a SEO checkbox, but that stops the scroll. If someone hovers over your image, your video will play, and it could help intrigue them. The video should show a close-up of your item or your item in use right away. Don't waste time. You have 2 seconds to hook somebody. Don't waste time showing them your logo or something that's not relevant to them. Show them your product up close, in use, as soon as possible. So that's really, really important as well. The last and final one that I'm going to talk about is going to be your SEO. I can't get away from talking about SEO in these. It's because SEO is tied hand to hand with traffic, right? So usually if you're not getting traffic, it's usually a picture problem or an SEO problem. So they're finding you and not clicking into your listing picture. They're not finding you, therefore they cannot click into your listing, SEO. So you want to make sure that you are, first part of this is your title. Make sure that your title is filled with high quality, high search intent keywords, especially first in your title. Like I said, don't put fluff in there first. Put very specifically what the item is, any features, and any specific information about the item early on in your title. The more specific, the better, is a good strategy to start. There are other strategies which I talk about and go over inside my Etsy Games program, which there's a link below if you want to check that out. Amazing community. But that is the first strategy to start out with. Highly specific, very relevant title. Again, Etsy was saying a little while ago they wanted shorter titles. What they really want, if they wanted shorter titles, they would lower the character limit on the titles. They didn't do that. What they really want is more specific titles up front, like I was talking about over here, with your pictures. Is the more specific up front, it should match your picture better, match search intent better, creating less confusion. So you want to make sure you're having those very specific keyword terms first in your title, and then following with other specific high search intent, high traffic keywords. Keyword research is important. You want to make sure the keywords that you're selecting are getting traffic. Do they have to have the most traffic? No. Do they have to have some traffic? Yes. You don't want to use keywords that are getting no traffic. That's wasted space. And it doesn't matter how awesome your item is. If there's no demand, you're not going to get purchases. Meaning, if you're not using keywords that have demand, you're not going to get traffic to your listing. Hopefully your product has demand. Hopefully you did that research. Because if you're selling a product that doesn't have doesn't have demand, then the keywords don't matter either, even if they have high demand. So you want to make sure that your product has some sort of demand for it. So the title structure matters. The placement of keywords does matter as far as your SEO. Your description matters, and I've went into this in super detail in past videos, so make sure you check it out. I also drop these. I have some tools inside my community that I give you that are prompts for your title, for your description, and for your tags to match search intent and have the highest quality keywords possible. But your title, you want to have those natural keywords first in your title. You want to have it broken out into sections. You want to have a section, who this is perfect for, so you can include those long tail, high search intent phrases inside there. And then last is your tags. You want to fill out all your tags. Have 2-word tags if possible. Try not to repeat tags too much. You can a little bit, but you don't need to repeat tags. The algorithm will pick them up and index them. So you don't need to say, baby gift, child gift, mom gift. You don't need to keep repeating gift. You can have gift in there once or twice, but that's it. So try to have 2-word tags because there's 13 tag spots, right? You have 13 tag spots. So if you only use one word, that's 13 keywords. If you use 2 words, now you're at 26 keywords. You're doubling your chances to be found because you're doubling your reach potential with the keywords. Don't have to rack your brain all day to try and think of 2 words every time. And some words are longer, so you may only be able to fit them in there once. But that does matter. And the good place to start is you take your title, the keywords in your title, and you just bring them down and make sure all those keywords in your tags. It increases relevancy because if the algorithm sees, okay, the keywords are in the title, these keywords are in the description, these keywords are in the tags, they're like, wow, that matches search intent, because if a buyer is searching for that keyword, using that keyword, and your listing has it in the title, the description, the tags, it's highly relevant, right? The algorithm's seeing like, okay, this is mostly likely to what they're looking for, so I'm going to rank them in search to hopefully be seen. Now, if you only have that keyword once somewhere in your listing, that relevancy is less. So the algorithm is less certain that your item is matching search intent. So you have less of a percentage of a chance to be seen and shown in front of that buyer. Does that mean you're not going to get shown and seen? No, but your relevancy is less. That's why the most important, most valuable keywords that represent your item the best should be in your title, should be in your description, should be in your tags. So that is it, guys. I think that's enough for today. Those are the 4 reasons that I see the most commonly after coaching hundreds of Etsy sellers, looking at thousands of shops, doing thousands of my own listings over the last decade. Those are the most common things to really evaluate. So the next 30 days, look at those things, see what you can tweak, take baby steps to fix those things. And if you want to move a little bit faster, check out my community below. Awesome place to come hang out. We're doing the traffic challenge right now. And I have some other really cool things in the pipeline ready to come out for that community. That's it for today. Hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys soon.